Prepare for a fusion of knowledge and exhilaration where education and excitement collide.
Taking you on an adventure that expands your mind and speaks to your spirit.
I'm Master Nick.
I'm Lady Dee.
We are the Dom Life.
This podcast contains sexually explicit topics and adult content.
It is intended for listeners 18 and older.
The opinions expressed in this podcast are ours alone, based on our personal thoughts, feelings, and experiences.
We understand that others may have different opinions and experiences, and we respect that. We would love to hear from you. You can reach out to us at www.thedomlife.com. Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. We are recuperating from a very, very busy weekend.
Busy.
We had Swinger Society do another club takeover at the wonderful Club Tempted this weekend.
It was pretty epic.
Yep, and of course, we had demos both Friday and Saturday night. So we're going to talk about what all happened, how the demos went, how the whole event went, how the whole weekend. Once again, got to say, Swing Society, y'all know how to throw a party.
Oh, yeah.
We had a lot of storms come through Friday.
Some of them deadly.
Some of them very bad in Kentucky. There's a lot of
tragedy surrounding it.
Yes. So I believe
we ended up having a lot less people there because it even took out so much power across the street that was still out for
it was out all weekend. Yeah. But yeah, I believe the storms kept some people away on Friday, but it was still a busy night for us, especially up in the third floor lounge.
Oh yeah, setting up for the electric wand.
Yeah, we did do the crowd favorite. People just love the electric wand. They love to experience it. They love to see, when we have you and whoever else our other models are. This time it was Zorra.
Yes.
She helped out last time with the electric wand while you was out sick.
What? I don't get sick.
Yeah,
No. Okay.
No.
I got sick and I was very, very salty about it.
He was, but you was there in full force this weekend.
Oh, yes. It was so much fun.
And it was great.
So Friday night was just the electric wand. We had it set up with a lot of the implements from very mild all the way to intense.
Right.
And it was, like I said, it was just kind of a quieter night.
Yes.
And so people would come up and they'd start asking questions. And because it wasn't packed, you were able to do some one-on-one time.
Oh, yeah. That was great, too.
Steve and Krista brought a second wand, which was so helpful because they set it up on another table.
Yep.
And while we were talking to people, it wasn't like somebody was standing around. They pulled it out and showed as well.
Yep.
And it ended up being pretty amazing having so many people that, they care for, it's our community. They come in and they,
It was great. Yeah, you mentioned Steve and Krista. Huge shout out to them. They got there before us Friday.
And we got there early.
Yeah, and had already rearranged the whole lounge area for us, gave us the space that we needed, was there when we got there, helped pack everything in, helped get everything set up. They was there the entire time we was there.
Yeah.
And then when the demos and our night ended, and they helped take everything down, pack it back out. I got to tell you, Steve and Krista, thank you. Huge thank you for your help and your assistance on Friday night. It was amazing.
Don't worry. We're going to treat you with a wax night.
Yes, we are. We will definitely
You've been asking, it'll happen. We're going to make it happen sooner versus later.
Oh, yeah. We are going to do it. But getting back to Friday night's demo, we did do an 8 o'clock and a 10 o'clock.
Yes.
And I think we actually was there till almost midnight, I think.
It was a little bit past I think.
We had a lot of people to come up to try out the electric one. The 8 o'clock crowd, man, they were hyped, and we had some real good fun up there with the 8 o'clock crowd. We had a few from Swing Society. I'm not going to call out any names just in case. But they was up there, and of course, I had to mention that the last time I was there, somebody wanted their balls shocked. So
which is always a crowd favorite.
Oh yeah, people love watching that. So they decided they would take it a step further this time. They wanted the head of their dick hit with the electric wand. So we had 2 volunteers to do that. One of them found out that I did have a branding wand. So the branding wand was used on an individual on their chest, and they actually posted a picture of it on the Club Tempted Facebook page. T stands for tempted, and that was what was branded on his chest was a T, and it was very visible. You could tell exactly what it was.
Yes.
And then later that night, we had even more fun with the branding wand.
So that was once. Oh yeah. So, we have wonderful friends, and we, as a group of BDSM participants, when you have really close-knit community, you tend to allow some things that you wouldn't outside of that community.
Correct.
Although I do think you might have pushed that line a little bit, Master Nick.
Maybe a little. So it goes back to our last episode when we talked about community. And it was mentioned, about Sir Dante and Zorra, how they have been there with us from the beginning.
Yes.
And we have hung out with them more than anybody throughout all the years.
Yes.
It never fails. If we have a party, they're always first on the list. If they have a party, we're always first on their list. And we have built a really good friendship and a huge bond between each other. So Zorra was going to come out and help with us Friday night while Sir Dante.
She looked so good in her sexy ass outfit.
She did.
I'm just saying, I need some butt. She's got it. I don't.
She's got a nice ass. Sir Dante stayed home Friday night,
setting up
preparing for the Saturday demo, which we'll get in here in a little bit. So he stayed home, getting everything prepped, set up, ready to go for Saturday's demo, and he gracefully loaned out Zorra for us. So one of the things that we were going to do for the demo was I was going to lead you all out on a leash. So, of course, with that, it was a message from us.
Because it will have to go on to her collar.
It's got to go on to her collar,
and
which
her
is
collar
Sir Dante's collar.
Right, off limits.
So we did reach out to Sir Dante. Hey, is it okay if I lead her out with a leash? And he was like, yeah, sure, no problem. And needless to say, we didn't do the leash thing.
Because they're just the type of crowd that was there wanted interaction more than a show.
Right. So later that night, we was just playing around with the branding wand. And Zorra was like, see if you can brand me. Hell yes. So I started. I was going to brand my initials into her.
I mean, come on, Master Nick.
Well, it would have worked perfect. There was a valuable lesson learned there. If the person receiving the wand is a little squirmish and can't stand still, it's probably best to write first,
the letters,
because every time she would move, I would lose sight of where I was at. And in the end, it looked more like a MP instead of an NR. So we come up with several abbreviations for what the MP stood for. But by the end of the night, it was very visible. It was very noticeable.
The last the teasing part, the last one was Master's problem.
Yeah, that was one of them. And and then after our demos, we went to the dungeon. You was wanting more. Zorra was wanting more, so I did do some impact on Zorra as well. And then before we even got home that night, there was a message from Sir Dante. We had asked a question if he could bring something for Saturday, and he was like, well, it depends on how bad this brand is on her ass. And I'm like, damn, who's done snitched on me? Somebody's done snitched. Somebody's done told on me. Well, it wound up, it was Zorra. She was kind of
making sure,
preparing him for her arrival when she got home. So it wasn't just found. So
right, because it faded, so it was there.
Yeah.
And then it faded where you couldn't see it. And then later in the dungeon, it was purple. I'm like, wow, that's showing up a lot. But when we had her up, when she was up on the cross, I just want to say I made her yellow.
I did too.
I did it first.
Yeah, that's only because I was taking a break. But yes, we did. We had a great time Friday, and again, normally, well, I'm not even gonna say normally, that would not happen with somebody else's submissive.
Right. If you did something like that, it would be
it would be bad. But again, going back to our community, to our relationship with Sir Dante and Zorra, and it would be the same if Sir Dante messaged me and said, "Hey, I need another submissive. Could I borrow Lady Dee?"
We would say no.
No, we wouldn't. I have the utmost.
Sir Dante, you cannot have me.
No, I have the utmost respect and trust.
I know. He would 100% take care of me.
There's not very many
just
people.
Like you did and probably brand my ass.
Yeah. But he would come up with something different, unique, with the way his mind thinks. He would definitely get me back somehow. But
oh my gosh.
Again, it's great to have that relationship with certain people.
And we had a lot of people that came through.
Yes.
So the second show, you stopped it pretty quick because people were interacting with each other. They were looking for something different. And so sometimes in the middle of a presentation or a show, you do. And I asked you, I'm like, why are you turning the lights? We haven't been up long enough. And you said, this is not what they want. I want to give them what they want.
Exactly.
And so at that point, you had basically just said, I have it here.
Right.
Anybody who's interested in feeling it, getting an experience of having it on you, please come up. And there were a lot of people that came up.
Well, we had two immediately to jump up there and want to feel it. But yes, that's the good thing about, doing demonstrations. Something you have to keep in mind when you reach that level to start doing it is you have to pay attention to your crowd.
Yes.
I could have kept going. And
my back was to them. I can't pay attention if
I would have kept going and finished out the whole demo, they probably wouldn't be there.
They would have gone
when we were done. So yeah, it's paying attention to your crowd. It's seeing their reactions. This crowd was, it was 10 o'clock. They were a little more pumped up. The music was really getting good. The alcohol was flowing.
DJ Life of Spice.
Yep, DJ Life of Spice was there. He had them amped up, and they didn't want to sit and watch.
Right.
They wanted to interact. They wanted to feel it.
So it was perfect. After you did that, it was like we sat down and we just got to watch all of the activities.
Yep.
And yeah, so Friday night, that was Friday. Now Saturday, you were a little bit nervous.
Saturday, I was very nervous. I normally don't get nervous for demos. And I was feeling it. I started feeling it earlier in the day. I could feel my heart just kind of beating a little different. I could feel the anxiety and the stress coming over me, and reason being for that. All in all, there was nothing to stress about. It went beautifully.
Right.
Couldn't have.
But what were you worried about?
So what I was worried about. So for Saturday, their theme was Carnival. So it was circus themed. And we wanted to do the kinkiest show on earth, a 3-ring demo. And while doing this, trying to think of things that really gets the crowd entertained.
That's
something that they could
with the carnival.
Yes, something that they could sit and watch, for 45 minutes. We reached out to Snap Ginger and asked if she would do a rope suspension demonstration for us during that 45 minutes. And she took it immediately. Yes, she wanted to do it. She got excited for it. She planned her routine. She ordered her outfit, which I just found out that her outfit did not show up. UPS did not deliver in time.
Oh, no.
She had to improvise on her outfit. But last night, we didn't know that.
Right.
I only found out about that this morning when I was reading some of her status updates. So Snap Ginger, you improvised perfectly. The costume you wore was amazing. It fit the theme perfectly. But I was stressed and anxious because Snap Ginger isn't in our group.
No, we've interviewed her, and we've gone to classes with her.
And we've seen her perform one time before with another individual at Kinkiest. We had interviewed her, but she's not in our group. She's not in our circle. And I was anxious. I was stressed. I was like, what if this don't go right? What if something goes wrong?
Oh, and then when we walk in to find out that they had an incident, not Snap Ginger, but Swing Society in a different event and totally unrelated, had an issue where somebody came down off of a suspension.
They were doing suspension. They said their rig collapsed or
in the middle or something.
You know, I was talking to one of them last night, and he's thinking they had it on a platform and think maybe one of the legs came off the platform. But they was telling us about this incident on this cruise ship
right before.
And I'm sitting there and I'm vouching.
But we did.
I'm standing up. I'm going, well, don't worry. Snap Ginger has a great rig. It won't collapse. Everything will be great. But it was just the worried of what if something does go wrong? What if something does happen?
My concern was because Friday night with the storms was it was a more quiet night. I was just worried about what kind of crowd was going to be there Saturday. Now, for us, we do this all the time. And if it's a smaller crowd, we just interact different.
Right.
But this was a demonstration where you couldn't interact with others
Correct.
on a large basis. Like I could a little bit, you could a little bit. But if you're suspending yourself blindfolded, you're not interacting with people. Wax can't interact with people because you can't get up and walk around.
Correct.
So in this instance, the only people who can interact with others was us.
Right. And it's one of those things you want to interact, but you also don't want to take away from the performers that are taking place. So I didn't want the microphone.
Yes.
I wanted to do our introduction. I wanted to let people know who we were. I wanted to introduce everybody. Of course, I had to give the disclaimer for, wax is not allowed at Club Tempted.
I just want to say that I went up. You had me go get Zorra and Dante.
Yes.
Because you pointed me over there. I'm going to go get them. And of course, I grabbed Zorra first and dragged her out, right? So I dragged her out. Then I go to Dante and he goes, the fuck? Like it was
that didn't quite work out.
He's like, you're not dragging me anywhere. And he dragged me back out.
Right. I didn't notice that. But we had, I had pre-recorded Sir Dante and Zorra's entrance and our entrance.
Because we explained, because we staggered it.
Yeah, we had a 45-minute playlist of all the songs. And it was going to be 45 minutes long. However, we didn't want all three going for 45 minutes. So we wanted the main focus and the main attention on Snap Ginger.
Yes.
So I asked her to start it, and she would go the entire time. And she was perfectly good with it. So she was the kind of the main show for people that wanted to watch if they got bored with something else. Because her routine changes. The way she ties herself, the way she suspends herself, it's not one constant same thing you're looking at. So that I wanted her for the whole 45 minutes. 15 minutes after Snap Ginger started, Sir Dante and Zorra got to come out onto the floor for them to start doing their wax play. And wax is amazing. Wax is fun.
People looks so
wax.
Awesome.
It is so pretty that he done the UV reactive wax.
6 different colors.
Yep, he had the black lights. It was glowing. It was amazing. And then 15 minutes after Sir Dante and Zorra started, me and you done the impact. And again, I stress again, wax is beautiful. Impact is beautiful. But you watch 4 or 5 minutes of it, you've pretty much seen what's going to happen. So the fact...
Well, no. You mixed it up this time.
I did mix it up.
You mixed it up this time, and people were still highly surprised.
Swinging a flogger, or using a paddle, doing all that. So that way, if you can watch wax, that's cool. You go back to Snap Ginger.
For a 45-minute performance, you need to have multiple things going on.
Yes.
Or you have to have such a performance that builds.
Yes.
And what flogging can't build, Impact can't build.
Right.
I agree with that. But again, you threw in a twist at the end. So
I did.
Snap Ginger, the very first thing she did is she was kneeling underneath her rig.
Yes.
And again, that's her rig that she brought with the padding underneath.
Yes.
She sets up all her rope and she was just waiting to begin because there was the first song that was just kind of the introduction. She came out, walked around, and then kneeled under her rig.
Yes.
The first thing she does is put a blindfold on.
Absolutely. First thing, blindfolded.
And then the next thing, she put a gag on.
Well, she takes, and I couldn't tell if it wasn't rope, but it was some kind of material she put in her mouth. And then while tying some rope, she took the piece of rope and went around her mouth. So she done her entire 40 to 45 minute routine blindfolded and gagged.
And just so you understand, she is suspending herself. She pulls her full body weight off of the ground.
Yes.
And not just once. She came down onto her knees, changed up the rope, grabbed different rope, then suspended herself again. That to me is crazy because you're not just, okay, I'm doing a harness, I'm going to just spin around. And she spun. She spun like a top.
I don't see how she didn't lose track of which way was front and which way was back. So to add on to that, Apollo was her spotter for the night.
Yes.
And his job was to keep an eye on Snap Ginger again. She's blindfolded. The only thing she can hear. She can hear and she can feel. She can't see what's going on. She can't see.
You can't even ask for help because she's...
Right. She's gagged. She can't even speak. So Apollo was there by her side throughout the entire
But he was sitting
routine.
in a chair.
Yes, but he was watching, making sure, one, nobody came close to her to interfere to cause her safety. And two, he was watching her rope ties, make sure none of the knots moved, make sure nothing slipped, made sure everything was good. So he done excellent. I mean, he was just monitoring.
Right.
But the way she done everything, had all of her ropes laid out in front of her. And at one time, she's using her hands to tie, and she's taking her foot, reaching out in front and feeling what rope is there and finding the rope she wanted. And when she finally put her foot on it, pulled it to her. And I mean, it's rolled up in the way that they store it. She grabs it with her hands, feels it, and starts unrolling it, unwrapping it, and then tying it around herself. The experience that she has under her belt to not only do these amazing knots, harnesses, and suspension, but to do it completely blindfolded by feel only. I
can't remember when you asked her to do this. It wasn't that long.
It was not that long ago.
She put together this
less than 2 months.
Yeah, she put this performance together, and we apologize. The playlist didn't go out until about a week before.
No,
not even.
It didn't even a week. It went out last Wednesday. We finally got the playlist, and I was like, "I'm sorry." She's like, "I've already got my routine. I can put it to the music." I'm like, "Okay, well, here's finally the playlist."
It looked great,
but
and then
done great.
So Dante and Zorra began practicing the wax like in the middle of winter. This has been their focus, and they've come up. We did a wax play event at our house for practice so that other people could touch it so they can figure out what's going on. And the colors are amazing.
Yes.
The heat is amazing.
Yep.
The adjustability of heat, I should say, because some of ours was a little bit too cold, not hot enough. Like we're BDSM people, and a lot of times I want
heat.
So we were mixing the candles and that, but he said they can amp up the temperature.
Yes.
So the nice thing is that you can have it at a lower temperature where new people are doing it, and I've already told them they need to figure out how to sell it because their wax mix.
Their mix is on point, man. It is amazing.
And it comes off easy.
We've tried several waxes. We went to Kinktasia and talk to Too Hot to Handle
And
Candles.
we still love their candles.
And
We've
their
used
candles
them
are
almost
great.
in all of them.
When you're wanting the heat, when you're wanting the temperature, those are the candles we pull out to get you that sting, that burn that you're wanting. And they spent a lot of time and effort and energy into making their candles. And everybody likes something different.
So try them all.
Try them all. But I do have to say, Dante and Zorra has created a very great blend for beginners.
Yes.
And for the more intermediate people, where you can still go up in temperature.
And they had brought a tray.
Yes.
And the heat, the way it heats is so nice.
Yep.
They have them too. We all own the plug-in.
Yeah, the melting pots.
But I really like the dishes.
Pad. He has a heating pad made for dishes, and then he has these dishes with wax in them. And he came in, he got everything set up. He laid out his heating pad. He laid the dishes on, plugged it in, and then he covers it with a metal tray to help keep the heat in there. And it took just a hair bit over an hour, and he was ready. His wax was melted. He was ready to start pouring. So then some of his stress went away because he's set up. He knows he's good.
Right.
That was kind of thing. Are they going to get there in time? Is the wax going to get warm enough? All this. So his stress kind of went away. You kind of seen him kind of fall into his groove now. He's set and ready to go.
And watching Zorra, I really wanted to run over and grab wax and do it, because watching Zorra get hit with all that wax, because again, we're putting on a performance. So he layered it up.
Oh, yes. He did.
And then he made it a point of spreading her legs and doing the inside of her thighs.
Yep. It was a great performance. And then, the last 15 minutes, we came out with impact. And I think, the songs you picked,
yay,
and the way that I edited them and made them flow, we got compliments on the playlist itself with the music that was picked, which to us feels great.
Right. Because
you're not around music all the time. You hear it all weekend, and for
every weekend.
And for you to say, this was a great playlist. Where did you find these songs? How did you get the idea for these songs and stuff? That really felt great.
Snap Ginger really helped, because the first two
songs was hers.
She gave, because we were talking about circus type, but we don't want a circus.
Right.
And she picked the first two songs, and that just helped to build all the rest of it.
That started it great.
That second song, Playground.
Yes.
It's
a badass song. But getting back to us now, the last 15 minutes. Yeah. So we had a pretty good impact scene Friday night. Your ass was a little sore.
It was a little
going
bit sore.
into Saturday for our demo, I didn't want to go too hard on you, but I wanted to put on a good show. So halfway through, I could see you turn your head like you wanted to say something. So I walked up to you, and you were like, green. And although all you said was green, what I heard was green, motherfucker, is what I heard. So then I was like, okay, I'm going to amp it up a little bit.
It's funny when we're doing a performance. There's so much adrenaline going that I can take a way bigger beating during a performance.
So I amped it up from that. And then what did you say? You turned your head again and kind of looking back at me, and I walked up and you said, I'm still green. So I know we have talked about it. I don't know how many times we've talked about it. And we've asked the question, why have I never flogged your front side?
We've done some
minimal.
Very minimal. I agree with that.
Nothing for a show that we've done. But I thought, what the fuck? What the hell? She's going to green. I've only got about 4 minutes left.
I greened 3 times.
So I undid. Now I don't know what was going through your head when I started taking you down.
I was like, I knew what was going on.
Well,
for 1 second, when my wrist started coming down, I was thinking, this is not our last song. What's he doing?
Right.
And then you flipped me.
And then I took your other wrist down and I spun you.
You did.
Clamped you back up. And then I seen a smile come on your face. And I grabbed my flogger and I went to town on the front side of you.
You did. In fact, so it's funny because you can hear the audience.
Yes.
I'm into the mood and the groove, and we have friends hooting and hollering, and you can hear all of that. So when Snap Ginger, everybody was in awe.
Yeah.
People were not hooting and hollering in that, but flogging has a different sound and a different environment, right? So I'm sitting there, and you would hit me with your bear's flogger, your flogger, the bear made, and you hit me with that, and the sound of that carries, and people were like, you could hear them go.
We was definitely getting a crowd reaction on a lot of it.
So when you flip me around to the front,
when I flipped you around, and I kind of looked around, and it was like everybody's eyes were on us. Like, what the hell are they fixing to do? I think even Sir Dante was even kind of had like, what the hell is he doing? And I grabbed that flogger and started going on your front side.
Felt good.
That was great.
Now, part of it is my nipples are covered because they're pierced.
Right.
Had they not been, it would have hurt more.
Right.
But then you went to town. Right by my kitty. You went to town with that. And it's like...
You kind of stuck it out there for me.
I did, because, we're performing. So I leaned all the way back as far as I could on the chains. And you went to town. And when you hit it the one time, my butt popped up so fast so that I could not be leaning forward. Everybody went, oh! They felt my pain, baby.
It was a good show. I'm glad everything worked out the way it did. I don't think we could have had it to go any better.
No. And it felt good.
We all finished pretty close to the same time, like we was wanting. We wanted to end and give our bows during the last song.
Yes.
I didn't want to do any more talking. I didn't want to do any more speaking of the mic.
And then people just jumped up. Like,
yes.
They came and they helped clean it all up.
Oh, yeah.
We were on the stage. We were on the dance floor.
Yes.
If we're on the dance floor, nobody's dancing.
Right.
So everybody helped tear it down.
There was a lot of people I didn't even know was coming out there, and here, let me grab this, and here, can we help
I was
this?
like, you got to be careful because the wax, you've got to do it this way. But we got it taken down.
It was taken down less than 15 minutes. Everything was gone. The dance floor was cleared and ready for people to start getting on the dance floor and start dancing. And that's also, the reason Swing Society wanted it earlier. We was done off the dance floor by 9:00.
Right.
And normally on any given night, whether it's a regular Club Tempted night or whether it's a Swing Society night, it's normally 9:30 before people really start hitting the dance floor.
Yes.
And taking full advantage of it. So the timing of it was great. I wished it would have happened later in the night because more people poured in between 9:30 and 10. They had lines back at the door. Right. I hate that they missed that demo.
Right. Exactly.
I do think it was the correct thing to do was to do the demo earlier.
Because we could have stuff on the dance floor the whole time because people aren't on it. It's not like we could set that up in 15 minutes. It's got to be on the dance floor ready to go. And then I don't think you mentioned, so where ours was, there's 2 cages. So we were between the cages with chain.
Correct.
We dropped down chain and then you hooked me up to chain. Well, I just want you to know that while I absolutely love the cross and we play on the cross all the time, the chains were so much fun for me.
Right, because you get more movement.
Well, I was dancing a little bit, and I was able to lean forward enough and stick my butt up in the air, and I just felt like I was pumped.
Yeah,
I was pumped. I did a lot of dancing.
And everybody could tell you was pumped. Some of our friends even said they could feel the sexual positive energy coming from you. It was like it was radiating from you, the energy that you had.
It was.
And it was noticeable.
And it's the playlist. It makes me want to
awesome.
Man, it was hot.
So that's kind of a wrap of our weekend. How things went. Again.
And we just did the episode on community, and it's all about community again.
And community definitely showed that night. But Swinger Society, thank you for the opportunity to do a demonstration for you again.
Yeah.
We absolutely love doing them.
Yeah.
We are hanging our hat up on demos for a while now.
We're going to do some of the smaller ones.
We're going to do smaller ones for Club Tempted. But I have heard Swinger Society is coming back in December. So I'm going to reach out to you all and let you know. We greatly appreciate the opportunity that you have given us to do our demonstrations. We have absolutely loved doing every minute of it, but it's time for somebody else to step up.
Yeah.
Let's get somebody different. Hopefully they bring different ideas and different demos to the table for you.
Yeah, we have amped it up each and every time. And so where do you go from here? I felt like this is perfect place
this was our perfect ending spot.
To do a bow and say thank you so much for having us.
Club Tempted, as always, you all are amazing.
The staff there, even the comments, there was a lot of new people there again because Swinger Society reaches a different group, and everybody comments about how the staff are friendly. They're right on time. If you ask for stuff, they do stuff.
Right.
You know, they're willing to help. They're not just ignoring you.
They're there to accommodate.
Yes. And the rooms were amazing. And
so, Club Tempted, thank you all for always doing what you always do.
Yeah.
If you was at Club Tempted this weekend and you did attend the Swinger Society Takeover and you did get to experience our demos, reach out to us.
Yeah.
Comment on this episode. What was your favorite part? What did you enjoy most? Or just say, thank you for doing it. Or
we like hearing comments.
We love hearing it. If we sucked, don't tell us that.
No, tell us. Tell us, you could have done something a little bit better. But I think this one went off.
Comment on our episode. Help us out. Spread the word. Let's get the Dom life out there. Get more people involved with it so people can start finding their kinks. Until next week, y'all have a good weekend.
Thank you for always joining us. Please follow, like, and share our podcast.
Make sure to visit thedomlife.com where you can find pictures and other details about the Dom Life podcast. And through the Contact Us button, you can ask questions or provide recommendations for future episodes.
We want to explore your kink too.
Be sure to check out upcoming events to see where our adventures are taking us and our photo gallery to where we've been.
Thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you had fun listening and learning with us.
Till next time, keep calm and remember your safe word.
Red, red, red.